Hi, and welcome to Danklord vs. Games. My name is Kevin, and today I'll be reviewing Get Even. You wake up in an asylum as a character named Cold Black, whose last and only memory is of a teenage girl strapped with a bomb to her chest. The game is played out in the year of 2015, but technologies exist that make it possible to read and travel through a person's past memories. Mr. Black is guided further through the story with the help of a man named Red, who tries to make sure Black is steered in the right direction, and I personally was definitely intrigued to find out more. There are several ways of diving deeper into the story of Get Even by finding tape recorders, notes, and secrets scattered throughout the asylum and past memories. Believe me when I say that there is no shortage of story to consume, and you might almost feel like it's become a chore after a while to read pages and pages of documents. It seemed to me, however, that the punishment for not reading thoroughly is minor. There is a sort of mission hub where your progress is being tracked by showing you all the different pieces of clues you've uncovered, and Red even offers to give you new equipment if you manage to complete a storyboard. But it's nothing I felt made any major impact to my progress, and it's mostly because I never unlocked anything and I managed to do fine regardless. Even though there were periods of feeling overwhelmed, they did a fairly good job to give you enough information to make you want to keep going to the end. Mostly because the voice acting of all the characters felt rock solid and interesting to listen to.
It's why we're here. It's why we're all fucking here.
I loved the fact that they mixed up the accents, and to my ears, a little bit of Irish never spoils the conversation. The story is divided into two parts, with the main one being focused on the aforementioned Cold Black, and the other one being focused on someone you'll discover in due time. When the first part ended, I thought I got enough information to put all the pieces together for myself, and the last one simply glued it all together and made sure the player really comes to a full understanding of the story. It doesn't feel like there's going to be a sequel, which means for the most part, all of your questions get answered. My first sentence and reaction past the first cutscene was, I have a gun and an assault rifle? What kind of a game is this, and why is it lagging so much? The game really doesn't look over the top fantastic, and I really didn't see what could cause such an incredible drop in frame rate. What I mean by that is that some games have graphical qualities that make it very, very obvious what's demanding and what's not, and there's no such obvious detail in this game. Or so I thought. When I got to thinking about it, there really are no major loading screens in between all the levels, and some of them throw you all over the place at a split second. A lot of work obviously has to be done in the background. It didn't take very long for me to start questioning what the game had intended to be from the first place. It felt like it wanted to start off as an explore with a flashlight game, but ended up as a confused breed of wanting to be Stanley Parable, Fear, and Outlast. I understand that the core game is not about shooting, but it makes me question why the shooting mechanic was there in the first place when it's obviously so broken. Shooting a gun has been perfected in games as early as Quake, Doom, and Counter-Strike, and I really find no excuse to fail with such a simple task. The only reason I could ever think of would be the fact that the game was originally designed to be a VR experience, only later to have it scrapped. Not until the end when you get a hold of some different, more regular weapons or you're able to do a decent job shooting bad guys. The game never really truly managed to make me stressed or scared, but I do applaud it for the good timings it showed throughout the game, and they made great use of the audio even though I questioned some of the in-game audio tracks that completely shattered my interest.
Black, you are supposed to explore your memory, not create a new one.
For the most part, it feels like the audio was made to produce an almost psychotic-like feeling, and it succeeded in some cases. The downside was the fact that when I wanted to listen to an audio tape, the music, although lowered, was still in the background, making me feel a little paranoid the first few times. The audio can really mess with your head, and it's something that reminded me of the first time playing Dead Space, so in many cases, they succeeded really well. There are a few puzzles here and there, but none of them require you to take out your thinking hats. The puzzles really are there for one reason only, and sadly, it's only to be in your way. As a $30 title, it came across as quite a lengthy single-player game, and I can only presume it has alternative endings since the game gives you the option to correct past mistakes. I'm sure there would be a different outcome if I decided to play along, not killing everything in sight, but doubtfully so to any major extent. I think the game would come to the same kinds of conclusion towards the end, but only a second playthrough would correct me if I'm wrong. The story touches on some very real topics in life, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but ultimately it feels like something I think a lot of people can relate to one way or another. The story really was touching, and it should come as no surprise that the story is the game's absolute strongest point. If you really, and I mean really, value a good story with some plot twists, by all means do take a look at it, otherwise hold off until some sort of sale. I encountered a little bit too many bugs. The game was a bit too weird for my taste, honestly, and don't really know if I'm going to remember it that much, and I think that might be one of the issues with it. Like, you want to remember the games you've played. With that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching the video, and if you want to comment or like or subscribe or anything like that, that would be highly appreciated, really, like from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Substance recognized. Halothane anesthetic gas.